in the workshop, and you should be able to bring out the issues that members have been raising in the House in regard to budgeting process. Honorable members, we have over the weekend, we got 2 athletes who excelled in the various events. That was Miss Stella Chesang and Mr. Abel Siko. These were both the second in the Valencia and Singapore marathon, respectively. We congratulate our patriots and we wish them greater success in the subsequent marathons. They were supposed to be here, but I think they're still out. And why we are mentioning that, because they are not the usual names. These are the upcoming ones, the younger ones. So we really need to congratulate them. Honorable members, on 19th December, as it has been a culture in this institution, we will be having end of year Thanksgiving prayer, first in the morning, then end of year party in the afternoon. I want to request you, don't miss it. 19th, you'll be back. Please don't miss it. And I'm going to keep reminding you every day that please be there. This is your second home. If you can't be in your second home, then where will you be? And this is therefore to invite you to be there and request you. There's an invitation and a request. Have a blessed deliberations. Yes, Honorable Namanya.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. On your communication on Uganda National Bureau of Standards. Madam Speaker, we are always battling with funding gaps here in the country. Uganda National Bureau of Standards is one area when we invest heavily in that entity that we should be able to reap much from it. Madam Speaker and colleagues, Uganda National Bureau of Standards is heavily facing challenges from human resource, from funding, and therefore it has costed many Ugandans who are in manufacturing, who are in business. The turnaround time of Uganda National Bureau of Standards is 12 months, almost 12 months. From the time you put a product to request for certification, it takes you about a year for them to certify a product. Whereas our counterparts here in Kenya, it takes less than a month to certify a product. Now, it has heavily costed many people who are in business. And it is only Uganda National Bureau of Standards that can give a visa to a product to go beyond the boundaries of Uganda. So I want to implore you and request Madam Speaker that we, through you, that you execute and allow the Committee of Trade to go and make an examination, to examine, assess the gymnastics and integrities of the operations of that entity. Otherwise, we shall always keep putting our products and they are not certified in time, and hence we are losing business. And it is getting money. To certify a single product, you need to pay about 800,000. It collects over 80 billion annually, and its budget is about 40 billion. So, Madam Speaker, I think it is prudent if
Thank you.
Information,
Thank
Madam.
you. Yes.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I want to thank my colleague for raising a matter on the Uganda National Bureau of Standards. Right Honorable Speaker, in this country, we from the fishing communities...
It is not your colleague who raised, I raised.
Okay, following up your for us from the fishing communities in this country are suffering at the hands of Uganda National Bureau of Standards. Why do I say that, Right Honorable Speaker? There are so-called illegal fishing gears, and yet Uganda Bureau of Standards is supposed to be at every one-stop center of the customs in this country to ensure that whatever product is not acceptable on the market of Uganda should not enter the country. The fishermen are now asking if these gears are illegal, where are they being produced in Uganda? If they are produced in Uganda, why is the government of Uganda allowing it on the market of Uganda? And if they are being imported, then why is the government allowing? And we have this agency called Uganda National Bureau of Standards. Right Honorable Speaker, that's why I really want to agree with my colleague that the traders, not only traders are suffering in this country at the hands of the Bureau, but even other communities like the fishing communities. So really, as Parliament, we should pronounce ourselves that these so-called illegal, undersized fishing gears should not be on the Ugandan markets so that our people don't continue to suffer.
There is another information here.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I think the issue being raised needs to be understood in context. Number one, the Minister of Trade, who is here, needs to tell us why we are still implementing the External Trade Act when we actually entered into the Common Market Protocol. Because the ministry has been licensing those fishing nets you are talking about. It's been the ministry, and the Minister of Trade, Honorable Bahati, is here. He needs to tell us, strengthening Uganda National Bureau of Standards is the responsibility of the Ministry of Trade. So the ministry should tell us where the challenges are, and then us as Parliament, as a committee responsible, we need to see how we can sufficiently fund Uganda National Bureau of Standards to undertake their mandate. We as Parliament, we have a responsibility, but the larger responsibility lies with the minister in terms of the laws that we are using to license people to bring in nets when they are undersized, and also the conflict between the laws which became obsolete because of the Common Market Protocol, but which the minister continues to invoke.
Honorable Minister, yes, additional information.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We have had a discussion at the subcommittee of PACOB in charge of private sector competitiveness, where this matter was exhaustively discussed. UNBS, Madam Speaker and colleagues, is underperforming because of one, capacity. They have few people, they cannot perform the task. Secondly, the nature of their funding is a problem. Because when people who want the approval of the standards pay through URA and the money goes to a consolidated fund, the budget they have cannot finance the requirement that is out there. So as Parliament, we need to review this so that we can enable them to perform.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the matter you've raised is very important. Whereas Bureau of Standards wants to be supported, but we must also look at support to those who are consuming their services. Importers in this case. Madam Speaker, pre-shipment inspection is mandatory for any imports coming into the country. And for the reason that the National Bureau of Standards does not have the support that Honorable Katesha has talked about, we need to support them. We have importers bringing goods from various countries outside Uganda. But because you don't have agencies representing Bureau of Standards in those countries, they come with their goods here and they are instead penalized because they were not able to have pre-shipment inspection done. So we need to support them, both in terms of capacity, in terms of resources, in order to allow trade to flow across board. I thank you very much.
Thank you. Jude.
Madam. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the issue of certification is a fundamental issue because not only is it for persons coming with new products, but even existing products. And we've seen cases whereby after a product has been certified for 1 year, 1 year has expired, UNBS requires you not to put the product on the shelf until the certification has been renewed. Yet they take more than 3 months to renew their certification. And that means you cannot even export the product. You cannot even produce additional product for almost 3 months. I'm giving this from a personal experience. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, is on the mandate for Uganda National Bureau of Standards. According to the mandate, they said they regulate any item that is of a rubber material, and as a result of that, gloves and also condoms qualify under that, and an item of plastic material, and as a result of that, even syringes. Now, as a result of that, there is dual regulation, because National Drug Authority also has the mandate to regulate medicines and supplies, and they are doing regulation. So what is happening is that there is pre-import verification testing that is done for the gloves and the condoms by UNBS. Then it comes to NDA, again tests are done. And there have been cases whereby one entity has passed the items, another entity has failed the items. It is very important that the Attorney General gives guidance and direction on which entity has the mandate to regulate items. And if there is need to amend the law, then you need to have this amendment, because this is something as a health committee has been raised as a concern to us by National Drug Authority. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in line of UNBS, not only traders who are suffering, but even our local farmers, they are being challenged with fake agricultural inputs on the market, fake fertilizers, fake seeds. I remember you guarded very well that the minister should bring a statement specifically on fake agricultural inputs. But as of now, the minister has never come back to one of that matter. So both ministers, for trade and for agriculture, they should prepare a statement in that line, because our farmers are making a lot of losses. Thank you.
But it's not only making a lot of losses. When you treat, say you're treating cows with the fake medicines, when they die, people eat. The sickness now moves on to even human beings. So it has that effect, a trickle-down effect. Macho?
Madam Speaker, you are spot on the matter of a National Bureau. It is last year that I brought a matter on floor concerning pre-shipment inspection, and you did direct the Minister of Trade to bring a report on that matter. And up to now, Madam Speaker, the report has not been brought at all. And we still hear there are wrangles concerning inspection. And Madam Speaker, on addition to that, truly, the National Bureau needs to be helped a lot, because as we talk now, we have so many men who are having cases of impotent because of a bad liquor on the market, making a lot of women to suffer a lot. Therefore, we should help these people to get enough money as quick as possible so that they have enough staff. Madam Speaker, I think you are... I really
what did you say?
Madam Speaker, I said we are having challenges in this country due to limited staff from the National Bureau. We have men who are impotent, making women to suffer because we don't have enough staff to pre-qualify the liquor on the market. That's why we have alcoholic products with very different names, like a tokutoku, like Hubatu Sosola, like Shapu, all those names that are named on these liquors have not been tested by the National Bureau of Standards. And therefore, the Minister of Trade should tell us how we can see that this bad liquor on the market that is causing a problem of divorce and gender domestic violence be off from the shelves. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Information.
Thank you. Your order, who? Yes, finished. Honorable members, by the time somebody says they are impotent men, maybe he's one of them. Afidra.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. On your communication regarding the issue of UNBS, I want to speak as a former board member of UNBS. And first, yes, I was a board member of Uganda National Bureau of Standards appointed by the president. I served for 6 years. And I want to make a submission first by thanking Parliament. 2 years ago, Parliament appropriated resources for UNBS, where they recruited more than 100 staff. This was in the financial year 2022-2023. And here, if we were talking about lack of staffing or inadequate staff at UNBS, Madam Speaker, my opinion is the utilization of the few staff to be able to deliver maximally. We know that government stopped recruitment in many institutions, including UNBS. But that said, what I want to submit more on, and it is very challenging, is pre-shipment inspection. We received a circular by the ED, Uganda National Bureau of Standards, instructing that this service, where the condoms are supposed to be inspected before they are shipped, all the vehicles supposed to be inspected before they are shipped into this country, that service is now being stopped. And that service, therefore, is going to be carried out by the UNBS. And therefore, if this service is going to be carried out by UNBS, what is the staffing quality? What is the preparation of UNBS to be able to undertake this service in country? Aware that we have issues of quality, aware that we have issues of corruption in this country. So my take is UNBS should come out through the Ministry of Trade and explain to the country that the quality of vehicles, the quality of different imports that Ugandans consume will not be jeopardized by the fact that it's now being done in country apart from being done from the pre-shipment inspection destinations, whether it be in Dubai or Japan or China. That is my greatest worry, and that's where I want to applaud you through the minister to come up with clarity whether this is the situation now or the service providers will continue to conduct their services of pre-shipment inspection from the different countries. Right Honorable, I beg to submit.
Thank you so much. We will wait to, these are the gallant persons we introduced, the athletes. Please just stand up and wave at, please stand up. Who is Chelang? Chelang? Chesangot. Okay, we'll wait when they come. Honorable Minister, before you respond, I met Uganda National Cultural Center this morning, and this goes to Attorney General, and their complaint is that they have a law which is older than Uganda in independence, which was formed in 1959, and because of the changing environment, they want to preserve the heritage of the country, so they are requesting that you bring amendment to their law. And then secondly, I also got information from my clerk where Equal Opportunities Commission and Public Service have written to the clerk that they want a report on how much each member of parliament gets, how much do staffs of parliament get. I think people are forgetting separation of power. The Uganda Parliamentary Commission is a standalone. We do not belong to Equal Opportunities. We are not civil servants for public service to start asking for the salaries of members of parliament. And it is high time, Attorney General, you tell these people that we have our independence. We should not be asked. Honorable Minister. Let Lob first say then.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, Uganda National Bureau of Statistics has two major mandatory roles. Oh yes, Uganda National Bureau of Standards has two major mandatory roles, that of inspection and that of market surveillance. But they grapple with the two challenges, Madam Speaker. Even with the recent, the body member mentioned, former, even with that recent recruitment, they are still grappling with the challenge of huge staffing gaps. And I know the minister should be aware of this. I myself at the border, because I'm very common at the border, during a pre-shipment challenge, which the Honorable, together with the Honorable Angura, who were there. And we compared and contrasted the staff between the ones of Kenya and Uganda. Uganda has a skeleton staff of below 5. The other place is almost times 3. So that is a challenge. But the other one is that of corruption. In this particular agency, they have perpetuated a culture of impunity. They take bribes in broad daylight and allow such counterfeits like the one the Honorable Member of Nebi mentioned. Parkwatch. Most of these fake goods on the market, this particular National Bureau of Standards cannot conduct country-wide inspection like they are required by law, and that's why they are awash in the country, all the counterfeits. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, honorable colleagues, for the issues you have raised about UNBS. UNBS has a mandate to ensure the safety of the lives of Ugandans, but also to ensure the standards of the products that we produce in the country so that they can meet international standards and access the markets both domestically and internationally. And as a result of the expansion of our industrial sector, as you recall, Madam Speaker and honorable colleagues, the industrial sector has grown. We are now contributing 27.4% to our national GDP, and manufacturing alone contributing 16.5%. Grown from 85 factories in 1986, and now 9,400 factories. This requires capacity to monitor all these activities and ensure that the products are inspected and the standards are kept. So the length of time that we take should be on an average of 2 months. And we shall get the report, Madam Speaker, and circulate it to all members of Parliament to see how many have applied and how long we have taken to approve, to satisfy. Some of the reasons why they take long is because some companies ask some information and they don't give it in time. And yet we must ensure the safety of these products. So I'm happy that this afternoon there seems to be a consensus coming out of members of Parliament that UNBS needs to be supported, to be given resources enough to recruit enough people for enforcement, to recruit enough people for certification. On the second point of harmonization of UNBS laws and NDA, we proposed an amendment to the UNDA Act, and we are working together with the Minister of Health. Actually, tomorrow we have a consultative meeting to ensure that we harmonize to see which projects are handled by UNBS, which products are going to be handled by NDA. And the Attorney General is providing guidance in this matter. on why we are still applying the External Trade Act vis-a-vis the new act that was enacted. As far as we understand, and the Attorney General will give guidance, the External Trade Act has never been repealed, and therefore it is still a law that is applied in Uganda. But the Attorney General can give more information. So, Madam Speaker, we will be ready.
Thank you, Honourable Minister, for giving. Well, Madam Speaker, I'm just seeking for some more clarification from the Minister. What do you lose by also benefiting from this rationalization bonanza that you take UNBS back to the ministry? You also benefit from what has been happening. Since it is incompetent, you create a desk
We
there,
are not saying it
you
is
appoint a
incompetent.
UPDF soldier to manage it, and we move on.
We are not saying it is incompetent. Honorable members, we are not saying it is incompetent. We are saying there are delays. And those delays, the problem is because there is no money. It is you who appropriates the money.
Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker.
There is a procedure matter.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
There is a procedure matter.
Okay, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. My procedural matter is in relation to what the Minister just said, that the House has built consensus on the financial constraint. And as he made emphasis on this, we want it to be right for us to get to know exactly the shortage in terms of finances that this entity has and their plans, so that we get a way of fixing. Therefore, without knowing how much, are we proceeding rightly?
We are proceeding well because we have a sectoral committee responsible for it and to look at all those issues that are being raised, and it will report to this House. Since we are going for BFP, so the sectoral committee is looking at it. Honourable members, when you look at, I'm still on the salaries of members of parliament. When you look at Article 32(3), there shall be a commission called the Equal Opportunities Commission, whose composition and functions shall be determined by an act of parliament. The Equal Opportunities Commission shall be established within 1 year after the coming into force of the Constitution as amended in 1995. Can I have some attention? Parliament shall make laws for the purpose of giving full effect to this article. When you look at Article 85, emoluments of members of parliament, that is self-explanatory. Attorney General, is it correct for equal opportunities to go beyond its powers and come and start investigating on what they are not supposed to?
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, the mandate of Equal Opportunities Commission is restricted to persons who are marginalized on the basis of gender, age, disability, and other reasons created by history, tradition, or custom. Now, we are having a challenge because, and when I look at the petition they have sent you, I'll be sure to render advice on the same. I think that would be an extension, because then they are going to start becoming the High Court and the Court of Appeal. So I think,
Supreme Court.
And they need to maintain the level where they are supposed to be. And we shall advise them, and we have advised them consistently on this. It's a line that needs to be drawn carefully so that you know, because this equal opportunity is